My life as a mechanic started for me in Waukomis, Oklahoma, standing around in the back of my grandfather's Ford garage, hoping that one of the mechanics would share just a little piece of information about how to fix a car. Those were the formative years. Well, I suppose my fascination with classic cars has never faded. Now I can't believe it. I've been here 40 years at the same location working on old cars, and I can't wait to get to work every day just to learn something new and to share that with someone in the shop. I've heard some fantastic stories in my shop. Think about the car that you first drove to high school, or that pickup that you hauled hay in when you were growing up. Corvettes, MGs, T-Birds, GTOs, pickups, Broncos, and Jeeps, just to name a few. I never lost my enthusiasm for classic cars. And I hope that over the years that I'll be able to help you with your cars and teach you something about how to work on your automobile. My name is Barry Wilson. Family man, classic car enthusiast, certified mechanic, and your guide under the hood of your favorite classic car. Hey, Barry Wilson, Wilson Auto Repair, working on this Chevrolet truck. We got this truck without anything in the bed. They couldn't figure out how to make all that work and still have the plumbing there to fill the gas tank. Normally what you do when you put this type of bed in there, you put the gas tank, if it's not behind the seat, you put it under the frame, and then you have a place somewhere in this wood where you're going to add gas. The disadvantage to that is that if you add gas right there, eventually you start eating through the finish on the wood and it starts looking really bad. So we're going to do something different. We're going to put the gas tank there. We're going to run our plumbing right through here under the fender, and we're going to come out somewhere right here so we can get high enough that the fuel will run downhill and into the gas tank and it won't run all over the bed. Now what's going on here? Well, we've got wood planks that we bought, and Tavlin's going to do a couple things today. First thing we got to do is remove this rail right here, and it's welded and rusted to the side panel. Hopefully we'll be able to get all of this out because we have a new rail right here for these to go on, and they go underneath this like that and catch this edge right here, and there's a little piece that sticks down to hook into it. Now the other thing that you'll notice about these holes is that there's a hole here where the bolt's going to go through to hold the bed to the frame, and the bolt's going to go through, but there's going to be a washer that goes here it's an eccentric washer that's not exactly centered up, so when you try to tighten it, if the washer wants to turn, it can't turn because it's not round right there. And that's how you're able to tighten the bed bolts up so that they don't turn while you're underneath there trying to tighten them up. So our first step here, and we'll bring you back in on this when we get some more done, after removing the axle and the gas tank and all the related parts underneath here, is to get this piece off here, over there, and try to fit our woods. So we're still talking about the bed in this truck, and as we get this wood to fit, then something has to fit between each piece of wood. So as you can see how they join there, and then you take these stainless steel strips and they go right along here and fill the gap, make that look really pretty. Then the other thing that we have to do is drill holes all the way through on each one of those, put a carriage bolt in here that's going to be stainless steel, and then put a nut on the bottom side to join all this together. The first step though is to get these rails out right here, get all this wood laid out, make sure it's fitting and in the right direction, fits at the ends, looks real pretty, and then lay these out next and make sure everything's going to fit. Once it does, then in these, like right here, this rail right here, these two go right there. So we have to get this one out in order to install these. Now we were talking about the gas tank earlier, so here's the gas tank. Kind of an interesting thing for you to catch. So here's where the gas goes in. This is where the filler neck would be, and where you'd put the nozzle in, and the fuel would run down and go in this little hole and fill your gas tank up. This hole is an air vent. You know, as the fuel comes up and fills it, it has to displace air, so the air comes back out through a vent pipe and up into the filler neck where you're putting your nozzle. On these tanks, sometimes people get this and they don't know what to do. These are vapor vents that would attach to a charcoal canister, meaning that when you shut your car off and you have a lot of fumes and they can't get out, they come here and go into a can that has charcoal in it. It absorbs that fuel in the charcoal, and then after you start it, the purge valve opens up and sucks the fuel out of the charcoal canister, and then it awaits for you to shut it off again so that the fuel could be absorbed. So that's how it's done. Now on most of these older cars, we have holes in the gas cap. That's how they originally vented, and that's the way they're still set up to work. So these get plugged, and we don't use those because we don't have a vapor canister available. That wasn't the way they were set up. They were set up to vent through the atmosphere, and that's probably about the only way you can make a lot of these work. That tank will go underneath this wood floor, and we will make some plumbing out of tubing that will come across underneath the frame and around over here, and then somewhere on the other side of this tail light, we're not sure exactly where because it'll depend on the plumbing, we have a lid accessory to go here that you'll open and put your fuel in. I'm Barry Wilson with Wilson Auto Repair. Go to my website if you'd like to see more of our videos.